Greetings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, any time of the day or night, wherever you are. Peace and blessings. And thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me. I haven't been on for a while, and I will tell you why. I got influenza A, which I don't have any worst enemies that I know of, but if I did have them, I would not want them to contract influenza A. It was horrible. All right. I mean, the body aches. I really did think that I had COVID. And thankfully, I did not have COVID. It was influenza A, which I'm not saying is that much better than COVID. But anyway, I did take 2 over-the-counter tests. They came back negative for COVID. I went to the VA because I'm a veteran and took a test there. It also came back negative for COVID, but it did come back positive for influenza A. So I didn't even know. I've never had the flu ever in my life. Barely have had colds, but never the flu. And I will tell you, something that I was not missing, and pray that I will never have to have or go through again because it was pretty intense. Anyway, I am back. I just wanted to give a little explanation about why I have not been here. I want to add on to this, if I can, a video. It's from Midas Touch. You can get that on YouTube. But it's talking about why this man would not vote for Donald Trump again, and I think he is a Republican. So, watch.
Hey folks, I'm Tennessee Brando with the Midas Touch Network. So Donald Trump did a town hall meeting and Sean Hannity asked him point blank if he really intended to be a dictator. He said the left is accusing you of this. They're saying that if you get reelected, you want to be a dictator. So can you assure the American people that if you're reelected, you're not going to be a dictator? And Trump's answer was no, but on day one. On day one, I will be, because I'm going to secure the border and I'm going to drill. Well, Hannity tries to circle back. You can see Hannity gets uncomfortable here. And he says, but you wouldn't try to abuse your power, would you? And he said, you mean like they did to me?
They want to call you a dictator. You use the words, I am your retribution. And now before that, you said if you've been wronged, and you used other words as well. But I want to be very, very clear on this. To be clear, do you in any way have any plans whatsoever, if reelected president, to abuse power, to break the law, to use the government to go after people?
You mean like they're using right now? So, in the history of our country, what's happened to us, again, has never happened before. Over nonsense, over nothing, made up charges. I often say Al Capone, he was one of the greatest of all time, if you like criminals. He was a mob boss, the likes of which Scarface, they call him. And he got indicted once. I got indicted 4 times. I wonder what my father and mother would say looking down.
We had a lot. We almost have to go to a break. I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's
drill,
not. That's
drill.
That's not.
No, no.
That's not retribution.
I'm going to be. You know, he keeps. We love this guy. He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No. Other than day one, we're closing the border." And we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
So that sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president. All right,
exactly.
Take a break. Just getting started.
So he's not actually saying no. As a matter of fact, he's saying I would be for one day. Now, do you trust him to just do it for one day and in 24 hours he stops? Also, are you okay with someone being a dictator for one day? I sure as hell ain't. I don't care what side of the political aisle they're on. I'm not for anyone being dictator for a day. Do you realize just how dangerous that could be? Now, on a daily basis, I have people say to me, Brandon, you're just throwing out a bunch of hyperbole, man. You're getting people all worked up. You're starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist. I even had one guy go so far as to say, you're starting to sound like Alex Jones pushing all this shit, man. We don't want a dictator. I don't know where you're coming up with these ideas. Well, I'm coming up with these ideas from what I hear Donald Trump say out of his own mouth. I'm coming up with these ideas when I go and read Agenda 47. I'm coming up with these ideas as I read Project 2025. This isn't something that I'm pulling from some liberal website. This isn't something that some liberal website is telling me to repeat. I'm listening to what it is that Donald Trump, MAGA Republicans, Agenda 47, and Project 2025 have to say. And then I hear him get asked point blank, do you intend to be a dictator? Just on day one, I do. And I'm supposed to feel comfortable with that. I'm supposed to be okay. You know, let's say for a minute that Donald Trump was right. And let's say that they were unfairly prosecuting him. They're not, by the way. Let me say this first so there's no confusion. Donald Trump is being held accountable for things that we saw him do and things that we have heard him admit to on audio. And yet we get told on a daily basis, you really didn't see what you think you saw, and you really didn't hear what you think you heard. Donald Trump is being held accountable. This isn't a witch hunt. This isn't Joe Biden trying to weaponize the government against him. This is him being held accountable for what he has done. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that Donald Trump was being unfairly persecuted. Let's say that Joe Biden really was truly going after him and trying to lock up a political opponent. To get back in power and do it to Joe Biden or do it to Democrats does not make it right. Two wrongs does not make a right. What Donald Trump should have said is no. At no point do I intend to ever be a dictator. I would never be a dictator in this country because I believe in American democracy and because I stand on the side of American democracy. I want another 4 years to do better than Joe Biden could have done. And when those 4 years is up, I want there to be a free and fair election where a Republican runs against a Democrat and the American people decides if Republicans should stay in power or not. That's the right answer. Not, well, yeah, I would like to be dictator for a day and hey, they did it to me. They did it to me is no excuse to do it to them, even if they did do it to you. How many of you's mama has said to you growing up, you can't do that just because they did it to you? That's something we learn at a very young age. Donald Trump is being held accountable. And he's a rich, spoiled brat billionaire that has never been held accountable before, and that's why he's lashing out as hard as he is. That's why he's fighting back so hard. And that's why that a second Donald Trump term would be nothing more than a revenge term. He would do nothing but go after his political opponents because they did it to him. And if this is a guy that wouldn't concede an election, if this is a guy that wouldn't admit to defeat, what makes you think that he would stop being dictator after one day? If he was dictator for one day, do you think he would just stop right there? Or do you think he would become so power hungry that we would never have a chance to vote again? Let me tell you something. Joe Biden is not my favorite president. Joe Biden is not perfect. Joe Biden has made mistakes. Joe Biden won't be perfect in a second term either, and Joe Biden will make mistakes in the second term as well. But I feel like that if I cast my vote for Joe Biden, that I'll live to vote another day. That I will have a chance at other options later, and I will be able to cast my vote at another time. I feel like if I vote for Donald Trump, I may never get that opportunity again. And before anyone says, oh, now that's just hyperbole, I'm pulling straight from what Donald Trump is saying, what Agenda 47 is saying. Listen to your own guy talk. Listen to what his plans are. And if those aren't deal breakers for you, then stop saying I'm the one buying into conspiracy theories. Always remember that here at Midas Touch, we stand on the side of truth. We stand on the side of democracy. And we don't believe that anyone should be a dictator even for one day.
So consider this a BOLFDTT. Be on the lookout for Donald Trump tricks. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.